Hi, my name is Alicia Kaysen. This is for Project 7 for cop3330. Right? So I'm going to be very forthcoming. I have been having a very hard time with this particular code. Somehow my SQLite and my IntelliJ are not talking to each other very well. I'm not sure it's because I have a Mac, but I've spent several days trying to fix this issue, and I could not come up with a solution. So it's like my database comes up and it doesn't come up. So we have my JDBC, and this is the path for my URL for my university database. So I can run it, and so if I was to go ahead and run this, we do get this little error message that I did look up here saying that something is I'm using an older version. For version, this is a warning message that reports itself in 1.5. It's saying I'm not using 2.0 or later. I've tried to re-download my jars and my plugins and make sure everything looks good, and even that didn't help. And follow tutorial after tutorial, but I digress. We're here to see the project code, but just wanted to put that warning out. So when I do put it, we do see my SQL or we should see my database, my university database that I have created. Let me pull up here so that way we can see a little bit more of it. And we also have my database that I pulled from my folder here. And if I was to go into my SQLite, you'll also see my database as well. The same database. Okay, so we have the DB helper. That was what this SQL helper helped us to generate these codes. Help us to generate these codes for here, and it also helped us generate our engineering students, and we're going to be pulling those methods into our university database. So the objective is to modify a Java application to connect to the university database, SQLite database. It's to perform, insert, delete, and select and update operations on the engineering students table. Print the results to the console using the 2D array list and default table model. We do not have any inputs, and our output is the confirmation message for insert, delete, search results as 2D array list, and to complete table data after a declaration upon updates as table data. So the first thing we have to do is bring in those packages from my DB helper, and that is going to help us also to execute this application. So we're going to make it a main application. First thing we're going to do, according to our instruction, was to create an instance of the database. So we need to do that in order to do the other parts. And that first part is to add 2 new rows, inserting. So I decided to call my engineering students UDB, which stands for University Database, equals new engineering student. So we're going to add the 2 new rows. So I use the insert keyword right here. And I inserted Fred Flint, student number 1256, Department of Sports, pass out year 2023, University of 30. Also inserted Reba Mack, student ID 256, Department Electrical, pass out 219, and University of 56. I want to create a 2D array list to hold the results of the query. And then we did the data equals UDB to get results to get all contents of the query. And then we're going to print it out. The second instruction for us was to delete a row. So I chose to delete the person with the last name Lane, and also delete a person with the last name Freeman. And then since the print delete it. Now this print database data, I got the idea from our tutorial video. Since we're going to be printing so much stuff, I thought it would be a good idea to also use something similar so that way we can print out the results each time. Afterwards, we have a default table is a way to print our database. So we have that default table equals new default table. We're going to use select to table. We have all our fields and such. Next, we're going to execute a query to search. So what I want to search for was, I was hoping for anyone with the first name that starts with M and print it out, but unfortunately it's not going to go to the console. Some of the data is going to come out, some of the data is not. Right. So we also have update to table. We're going to update the table. So I wanted to update the department, the Kim with the last name Lamb. So I wanted to update the person with the last name Lamb, their department to Kim. And I want to update the student room to 275 with the new pass out year of 2018. And then I want to update Carrie, first name Carrie. I want to update their student ID to 3317. And then I wanted to print out update to table and then print out our table. Then I have public side void. That, like I said, that was the constructor I made over here. Because I really knew we were going to want to print. No, I have this. Don't need this. Not that I know of. So we're getting a little error here. Alright, so let's go ahead and run. And we're going to have a little error here too. Don't know where's this little. Inspect that. Didn't know where that came from, so I'm gonna do that and rerun it. Don't know. Let's run this again. So I'm gonna bring it up. So yes, I'm getting a lot of the .org SQL problems here. So as you see, it prints out some of the table, and then some of it does not. So we have the data that has been added. And then it printed out. Then it skips over, and then I delete it. For a reason, it still didn't delete Lane and Freeman, even though those are the two people I wanted to delete here. But it still printed out my table. And then we have our errors. It's still printing out, here's the table, but it won't show the table. Unfortunately, I'm trying my best to figure it out. So, yes, unfortunately, that is going to be my project 7.